Hey everyone, welcome to On the Record, and stopping by today we have Mr. Lee Brice here in the LA studio.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's good. It's good to be out on this West Coast.
Yeah.
It's been hot everywhere.
Yes, and it's still hot here.
Yeah, but it ain't hot here like it's hot in South Carolina, let me tell you something. let's don't get crazy here.
So you have an album coming out here very, very soon. Yeah. Why don't you tell us what it's called?
Well, it's called Lee Brice.
Shocker.
I've never had a self-titled record before. I never really thought I would or wanted to until this record. And I started putting songs together, and there were 4 or 5 or 6, and started to be more where the titles of this song felt like a great album title. Mm-hmm. But then there was like a bunch of them. So I'm like, well, yeah, but it could be this or that. So I was confused. And then I really started realizing that this record, like, you know, even musically, I kept really raw, really real, really to my roots of gospel and real people playing real instruments and singing and not a bunch of computer crap. Just simple music. And I felt like it's the most me record, the most kind of revealing, record of who I am. And so, you know, if Metallica came out with their 4th record, this is my 4th record, and it was their first self-titled record, and it was the biggest one they had. So I said, if they can do it, we should do it. Lee Brice.
There you go. There you go. Real original. I love it. 2 years in the making. How does it feel like to actually finally get it out?
Oh, it feels good now. Like, I almost couldn't listen to any music for like a month or 2 after I got this thing done. I mean, my brain was burned. Yeah. Because I didn't, you know, when I make records, every note of the words that are written and every ounce of the music, and then in the studio, every note of every instrument of everything, even the mixing process. I used to send it off to a guy who mixed the record. Yeah. Now I'm there for every single step of that way, and even in the mastering. So I had just really worked hard on it, and so by the time you get it done in your own mind, you're like, oh, I hope this record's good. It's kind of sounding old to me. You know, I've been doing it for 2 years solid, straight. But now I've kind of rested from it and been listening to it a little bit here, literally just in the last few days. I kind of turned it back on and wanted to hear it. And I'm really proud of sticking to the guns of making a record that's real music and great songs, hopefully, and not pulling any punches and just going for it.
Is there a track that, now many fans out there haven't heard a lot of the album, you've been releasing things here and there, is there a track that you're dying for fans to hear?
There's a lot. I did not put one song on this record to be a place filler. To me, any of them, and I did this kind of on purpose too, to give to the record, to say, hey, the record label, hey, here's the record, pick a single. Like, I would be happy with any of them. There's some stuff that's really personal, you know. I'm excited for them to hear some stuff that I really feel like they're going to enjoy the song. Might be a hit kind of factors thing. But, you know, you said that, and there's one song that happened that came from this real kid that I met, and I wasn't even planning on it being something, you know, big or anything. But I just cut this simple track about this kid that I met, and he really impacted me. And so I wrote a song called Have a Good Day, and it's kind of a throwback, kind of Johnny Cash kind of feel, but it's the happiest, saddest song you've ever heard, but it's made to make us appreciate what we have while we have it, and I'm excited for them to hear that. Have a good day. Yeah.
Now, have you told this guy?
I have not. I have not talked to, because I met this kid at the Opry. Okay. And this kid had had many surgeries. He's had cancer since he was 8 years old. His name was Colton, and he was the most vibrant, happy, smart kid, outgoing kid I'd ever met. And I was just like, God. And his daddy was talking to me, and his daddy knew what was going on, knew this wasn't going to be much longer. But his daddy had these good spirits, and I talked to him about that, you know. And he said they just appreciate every minute they have with him. Yeah. And so that just hit me really hard. I have a 9-year-old son. Yeah. He was just 8. And so I haven't called him yet because I wanted to get the record done and then send it to him. So I'm about to send him a letter and let him know that this song was, you know, based around him. Colton's name is in the song, you know. So.
Oh, that's very sweet. You mentioned this is your 4th record.
Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself this time around? How was this one different?
Well, I learned that I need to not doubt what I'm hearing in my head for a second. I always want input. You know, I've got some other co-producers and stuff that work with me, and they're amazing. But when it comes to the brass tacks of it, I have to be the one at the end of the day that says, this is my record, this is my heart, this is who I am. And so if I feel like doing something that's a little bit weird or a little crazy or a little just too raw and acoustic and maybe not perfect, if that's what I want to do, then I have to go there. And I don't want to, so I think next time instead of arguing about it, I'm just going to cut it off and be like, nope, this is what's happening, so we'll save some time. That's why it took 2 years to make that.
Yeah, you got it down to what you wanted.
That's right.
That's great. There's a lot of songs about real life on this album.
Yeah.
You sing about being a dad.
Yep.
There's a track on there, Boy, which is your 14th hit on our country airplay chart.
Wow.
So that's just
crazy.
let that resonate with you.
Wow,
14th.
I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you kind of know what you're doing.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh, still figuring it out. What do your boys think about the song? Have they heard it?
Man, they love it. Like, I don't really know why, because, you know, they aren't necessarily into music. You know, they're kids, and they just around everything. Dakota likes to sit down and play drums, you know, for about 5 minutes, and then moves on to something else. But Riker just walks around singing, boy, ain't gonna be tall, 10 feet tall, and he just sings it over, boy, like the one line. He sings it all the time. I think they have to like music. It's kind of like when I was growing up. My daddy listened to music all the time.
Yeah.
He listened to gospel and this and that. So whatever he was listening to, I was listening to. And so I fell in love with all that stuff. You know.
Do you think they get what you do? Like, do they understand it?
I think Dakota's starting to really get it. You know, there's been a couple times like in a grocery store where somebody will stop and ask me for an autograph, and you know he's a little used to it. So that's the one thing that's why I don't take them on the road a lot. I want them to be special. I want them to go, oh, we're going out with Daddy on the big bus. It's like a fun time. Not like, oh, we're on the bus again, a tour bus. We're backstage at a big concert. I want them to understand, you know, things that are special, you know, and it's special. I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing and on a big arena stage or blah, 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 and all these people are here singing the songs I wrote. And it's a huge deal for me. I worked my whole life for it. I want them to have something in their life like that and to not think that it's just like handed to them or like that it's just a normal thing, you know, for their own good. I want them, they're going to have to work for that first car they want. I promise you that.
Oh. Sorry, I tried, guys. Sorry. Do you, is there a song of yours that is their favorite, not necessarily Boy, or is it Boy? You know,
Boy and I don't dance.
Okay.
And I guess it's because Mama, Sarah, my wife, she plays my music all the time around the house.
That's awesome.
And I think she does it, I mean, she says she does it because she likes it. But I think she does it because she wants them to grow up hearing me sing. I think it's just kind of a connection that she wants, you know, to have in their life. You know, music was a part of my life, my whole life, singing and with my aunts and my mom and my daddy and my brother. So I think she wants that in our household too. So she plays them a lot. So they sing, I don't dance, and they play it on the piano, and they like, you know, and Boy. So, you know, I drive your truck. Yeah, they like it. They dig it.
That's so sweet. You've written songs about your wife, your boys. What about that little girl?
Yeah, I figured out something I think is a good placeholder.
Okay.
Because I figured the question was going to be, well, so you got a song about Boy, well, you got a girl coming, so what about that? There's a song on the record that's extremely special.
Yeah.
It's called The Best Part of Me. And it really is a love song, and it would probably be a love song to my wife. But the more I think about it now, it is truly a love song for Truly. Right. And I'm not perfect, you know, and that's what the song talks about. I got a lot of flaws. I do some, but I got a good heart, and I got a big heart, and I'll take care of you. But the best part of me is you. And her little hand, and we did a little video of her baptism. Yeah. It's kind of, and it'll come out whenever the song comes out, so it'll be pretty cool.
Do you get release date jitters?
Nah, I don't.
Not anymore?
I don't, well, release date is just excitement. I'm just glad to get music out there. I'm not big on, like, how many records we sell and all that stuff. I want to sell a lot because I want more people to hear the music. But as far as, you know, awards or accolades or people saying, oh, you sold X amount of you get a plaque. I'm not really into that as much. I don't really care. I just want
Okay.
my music to be done and be right and to be out there.
Is
you
it
know?
different? You're a former athlete, so
Yeah.
is it different when you were preparing to go out on the field? If you guys don't know, he used to play football for Clemson. We know all about that.
Go Tigers.
Is it different preparing to go out on the field than it is to go out on the stage?
It's very that part is very similar.
Is it? Okay.
You know, the live shows are a whole different thing. You know, this I'm lucky to be doing this for a living, right? It's hard to call it a job,
Right.
but it is work. It's hard work. But I'd be working hard digging ditches, you know, back home with Daddy, being an electrician or something else, or an engineer. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be working hard at doing that. So I get to work hard at what I love, but that part is not work. When I'm about to walk on the stage, it's like, all right, I got to get pumped up, because in football, you got to be ready for that first initial contact. It's like there's your butterflies. It's like, all right, and once you get that first one in, it's good. So once I take a step out on the stage and I hit that chord on the guitar, it's on. And so that is a very similar thing. I like to try to kind of get pumped up, but I'm really focused right before a show.
Yeah.
Just those 5-10 minutes before. That's my thing.
Is there, if you can think back to the early days of your career, like what was one of the first songs that you remember the crowd singing back at you?
Well, it was definitely She Ain't Right. That was our first single. And it only got up to like number 26 on the charts, okay? But where we were playing at the time, these markets were great to us, Florida and South Carolina, and even all down to California, the small bars and stuff we were playing. People loved that song. And it was our first song on the radio. It was kind of a hit, you know. It was like a number one, though, in a lot of these smaller places that I was playing. So, because the stations that played it is where we went.
Right.
And so it was a number one to them as far as they were concerned. So that She Ain't Right was my first single, was that first one they really sang back. But I'll tell you the most special one's probably I Don't Dance, because that was what I started writing for. I started producing for that. I wanted one day to grow up and write a song for my girl, play all the music, put it on the radio, and let people hear it, and let my girl hear it. And that's what I Don't Dance was for me first. That I got to do all of that, and that's one that people sing back, whether I'm singing it or not.
Do you feel like I Don't Dance was kind of a pivotal moment in your career? Do you think?
I think so. I think it's a career song, and I say that because it's a song I'll never be able to replace. I'll never want to take out of the set.
Right.
I think every show I ever go to, people will want to hear that song. And the coolest thing about it is it's not just a girly song.
Right.
In fact, the dudes love it as much as the girls do, because they're like, dude, that's me.
Yeah.
He's connecting with me. She thinks it's for her, but like he's talking to me. And so I love that, you know. And that is my most special song probably, because I got to do it all, you know.
Is that, would you call that the song that you would never get sick of singing when you're out performing?
Yeah, and honestly, you know, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, I've passed on a lot of great songs that I knew were a hit, because I just knew that they weren't me, or I knew that if I had to sing them every night, I wouldn't be able to believe it. I wouldn't be able to, and that's what my number one thing is as an entertainer. My number one thing is communicating the song. Yeah. And I got that from Mama. You know, she was singing in church, and if she felt like that message needed to get across and she needed to talk the verse while the music was playing, she would. And so it's all about communication for me. So that's what I strive to do.
That's amazing. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for
giving us a little insight into Lee Brice.
Are you kidding me?
The upcoming album. We're really excited for November 3rd.
November 3rd, Lee Brice. Go get it.
Yeah, and thank you for being a light in these times and going out there and singing.
Yeah, well, you know, I think we're in a place in this world where the first thing we have to think about is coming together. You know, and the tragedy. I played the stage Friday night that was shot up Sunday, and it looking at now, and looked at the first responders were there, but the first responders were the people, the fans. They were back into it, helping other people. And that's a beautiful thing. And people ask, you know, do you think country music people are going to stop coming to shows? And I say, not in a million years, because we're fighters and we're workers, and we're not going to let, fear, somebody trying to scare us, stop us from what we work so hard to do. And country music is in their bones and it's in my bones, and so we just got to come together. We just got to come together.
It's a very unique community, and
all
taking over for one another and stepping in, so we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good to be here.
Thank you so much, and thanks so much for joining us, guys.
See y'all.